Hey, what's up? We're at Arby's. And I got a coupon, 2 for $7.
How they do the beef and cheddars and steps. This is where, of course, they keep the buns. This is the freezer area where they keep it at a negative 10 degrees.
This got cordon bleu sandwich. Ooh, that's nice looking too. Got a cheesy.
Yeah, I remember they're hot. Raise that up, and once you set it in, that thing locks back down in place to make sure there's pressure on top of the roast beef to push it down as it goes through the slicer.
Restaurants like Arby's around 14 times a year. That means once a month you're inviting processed meat, loaded with sodium and preservatives, straight into your diet. But here's the thing, they market it as premium. So what exactly are you really eating when you bite into that roast beef sandwich? Today we're pulling back the curtain on Arby's supply chain, nutrition numbers, and the chemistry experiment happening in their kitchens. If you thought you were just grabbing a quick sandwich, you might want to stay tuned. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. Costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. Arby's tells you it's serving up handcrafted roast beef. But why does it taste identical from Florida to Alaska? No matter which counter you walk up to, the sandwich bites the same, the chew feels the same, and the flavor lines up like it was dialed in by a machine. That consistency is not the work of 1,000 skilled hands. It's the outcome of one system, one process, and one set of chemical tools. The chain has spent decades positioning itself as the outlier in fast food, lining its ads with the claim that it goes
Frozen roast beef. Doesn't look so great right now, but you know what? It does get better. Over here is the cooler area where they have to wait for it to get to even 38 degrees.
Nice. And then something else. I'm not sure yet. Let's do one of those pies. Or turnovers or whatever it's called.
Yep, this is what they call the sham, where they just hold it in there and stays in there at a nice temperature, keep it all nice and moist and good to go, so it doesn't spoil or anything. So, you know, this ain't McDonald's now, so they're going good here.
Beyond burgers. The slogan hammers, "We have the meats." And the imagery always shows a knife carving thick slabs, piled high on bread. That branding leans hard into tradition, the craft of a butcher slicing fresh roast beef for you. It sets your mind on a scene of hot ovens, steel knives, and the sound of meat hitting a cutting board. The theater builds confidence. You believe you are buying into something elevated. But then you see the reality. The beef you unwrap is not being carved at that store. It doesn't come fresh from a roast sitting in a pan. What you're eating is a product shaped behind factory walls, long before it ever made it to a franchise kitchen. Industrial tumbling drums do the heavy lifting. Large cuts of beef, sometimes scraps pressed together, are loaded into machines the size of small vehicles. These drums rotate slowly, battering the meat against itself to break down fibers. While it's beaten, solutions of salt and sodium phosphate are pumped in. That chemical mix spreads water through the muscle, loosening tissue and boosting the total weight. The result is softer meat that bends to the formula, not to nature.
Right here we have the ovens. Right here in the ovens, they keep them at 200 degrees. And they are cooked for 48 hours before serving. Once they get them out, they pull up the big slabs right there.
I like this spot.
Okay, we get to see the beef change. That's gonna be awesome.
Reality, here we go.
So, he's right now grabbing that out.
This setup is designed to guarantee one outcome. Every slice looks uniform. Every bite keeps the same mouthfeel. It's an engineered victory in the name of reproducibility. Not a chef's knife, Not a cook's timing, but stainless steel machinery dictating the rhythm. Additives lock in color. Preservatives set the shelf life. The process gives store managers a plug-and-play product. But you, the customer, are sold a premium tale while being served a lab-tuned creation. You can sense the conflict the moment you eat it. The word premium suggests hand-trimmed beef rich with fibers and juices. In practice, the texture dissolves after a few chews. That softness isn't culinary mastery. It's sodium phosphate binding with water, reshaping muscle strands into something that collapses quickly on your tongue. The roast beef looks carved, yet it crumbles. The illusion stays intact only as long as you don't question how it was made. Think of what most people expect when they hear roast beef. A piece of beef seasoned with salt, maybe some garlic, roasted until the surface browns. Slices cut across the grain, stacked with bread and mustard. Nothing complicated, nothing hidden. Meat, bread, seasoning. Now compare that to a factory line where meat is tumbled, injected, cooled, and shipped vacuum-sealed. That is the frontline contrast. Natural process stripped down against industrial manufacture ramped up. Here's one key fact that helps explain the hidden math. Regulators allow roast beef products to carry up to 12% added water and sodium. That's not seasoning in the normal sense. It's swelling the product to increase profit margins. 12% on a scale of tons means huge gains for a supplier. For you, it means higher sodium in every serving before you've even reached for another packet of sauce. What you think of as a lean protein hit is, in practice, inflated weight tethered to additives. And this is only one sandwich. Add fries, sauces, cheese, or a shake and the load mounts fast. The pattern of hidden intake spreads across the tray. It raises the tactical question. How often are you walking into this engineered zone without realizing the level of saturation? You went in aiming for carved slices in a bun. What you left with was a product designed for reproducibility at mass scale. Not craft, not fresh carving. Just a controlled cycle that turns beef into something built to look the part while cutting corners through chemistry. The brand's theater speaks the language of tradition, but your food tells a different story the moment it hits the line. What Arby's calls premium is in truth engineered sameness. Machines, additives, water weight, uniformity dressed up as craft. The chain's image of carved meat hides a lab-built product tuned for efficiency, built to stretch profits, not nourish. That means what you fuel your body with each time is less roast beef and more controlled chemistry. So the choice is yours. Understand your rations, know what's in your fuel, and don't let slogans dictate your battlefield diet. Information is your weapon. Subscribe and join a community that seeks strength through clarity, discipline, and informed action.